Hello.
Hi there.
Hi, Aisha. This is David Brody from Elvis Duran in the Morning Show. How are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm much better now that you're on the phone. I have to be honest, I'm a very big fan.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much.
When I got the email and they said, would you like to interview Aisha Tyler from Archer? I said, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? So
that's killer.
This isn't one of those interviews where like, yeah, we'll talk to her because she's famous. No. I've been looking forward to this.
Awesome.
Aisha Tyler plays Lana Kane on Archer, but of course you're on The Talk. You've been on CSI and Talk Soup and Friends, and I want to talk about Friends a little bit later. Just a little brief thing, but Archer.
Yes.
I want to read the disclaimer that starts every episode and comes back from every commercial break. The following program is rated TV MALSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, violence, and nudity. It's a cartoon. It is intended only for mature audiences. Viewer discretion advised. It's cartoon nudity.
It is cartoon nudity, and no small dose of it. And I love that it was TV MALSV. I didn't even know there were that many letters in those designations.
Your show has I don't think there's any more letters. It's
violent. Used all the letters.
It's violent. It's sexual. It's naked. It's everything you could want in a cartoon.
I have had a lot of fans tweet me and say that they're in love or in lust with my cartoon character, and I have to remind them that she's not a person. She's super hot.
That's where you're wrong. See, it used to be Jessica Rabbit in my world was the hottest female animated person, and then there was that Little Mermaid phase I went through. But seriously,
yes. I understand.
Lana Kane. I would buy posters if there were posters. I certainly have enough pictures online. I Google image Lana Kane as often as I can.
She's pretty awesome. I mean, the show has been from the beginning just probably one of the edgiest things on TV. But I think what makes it special is that it's not just edgy; it's also really smart. And I think that's why people love it, because it's that combination of like really intelligent and it's a grown-up show. It's a show for grown-ups. So we don't make any apologies for that. It's a show that is the intention is to make grown-up people laugh their butts off, and people seem to really love it. So we're stoked that people
Well, it's
are
not just
to it.
grown-ups, Aisha. It's demented grown-ups, because the kind of humor in this show is not normal. Just looking at the last episode, which I watched again last night. By the way, as Calpurnia in the French maid outfit, I'm going to say you were very hot, even though I know it's Lana that was very hot.
People seem to be really excited by Calpurnia. Sure.
Yeah, Calpurnia needs to be a recurring character. But we learned about creepy old people bondage sex police.
Oh, yeah, that was hilarious. That was so great.
S&M Dildo Sex Murder Freak Show.
Yes, which sounds like it should be a band name, doesn't it?
I would definitely buy the CDs. This is the kind of stuff that happens every episode. Of course, Sterling Archer, the star of the show, has all these lines, and you are sort of his on-again, off-again love interest foil.
Yeah.
I think we'd all like to see you continuously hook up. I don't know why you're hooking up at all with Cyril.
Oh, I know. Well, I'm done with Cyril now. He's just become an albatross to me, for sure. Yeah. And now he's in the field, and we have to train him, and he's just like always like shooting in the wrong direction, and tripping over things. He's literally like just like some kind of terrible punishment for the rest of us.
Yeah, but Cyril's played, of course, by Chris Parnell, who
he's so great.
Is one of my all-time favorite members of SNL. He was on SNL twice, and for some reason they haven't had him on a third time. I'm waiting for the comeback.
Well, what's great about Chris, other than his comedic brilliance and his lovely personality, is that he's always working. So he's on Suburgatory right now, and he obviously recurs on 30 Rock, and he's an insane talent and a lovely guy. And it's really funny, when we first met, season 1 of Archer, we were doing like an FX red carpet, and we looked just like our characters, including the difference in height. So whenever we're together, we always laugh about that we're like literally our own live action figures.
Well, he's the reason that I found out about the show, because as a fan of Chris Parnell, I saw the commercial and it mentioned that he was on it, and I said, oh, well, if Chris Parnell is on it, I'm in. And as it turns out, the whole cast is amazing. It's just a brilliant show. I have to be honest with you. I have 3 kids. I close the door to my office and I DVR the episodes upstairs so I can watch them alone. Partly because Lana's hot, and partly because of the dialogue.
Yeah, it is not for kids, but the thing is, it's because it's animated, and it's really beautifully animated too. If your kids wander by, they'll be like, "Daddy, why is Daddy not letting us watch
that happened last night. I was watching the episode where Mallory, I don't want to give away the ending, but Mallory has some problems with the Prime Minister of Italy.
Oh, yes. scandalo.
Not the king of Italy.
No,
and
just the prime minister.
Right, so he's sitting there in the latex suit and there's bullet holes through his chest.
Yeah.
And my daughter walks in to say goodnight, and she looks and she goes, "Ew, that's disgusting." I said, No. That's spaghetti and meatballs. He was eating and he fell asleep. Because in the episode, of course, you and Archer were eating spaghetti and meatballs. So I had to show her the scene with the spaghetti and meatballs so she wouldn't think it was bullet holes in the sex pervert who had an eggplant inside of him.
And sadly, that is actually what did happen, was the eggplant, the bullet holes, the gimp, all of it, yeah.
All of it. You know what? When you're laying there with a cucumber inverted in you, I think maybe getting shot and killed is probably the best way to go.
Probably the best way to go, absolutely. Put him out of his misery.
Now, I don't know. You're married, and I want to talk to you about that in a second. But do you go home and talk to your husband and say, "Yeah, we just taped this episode where the Italian prime minister has an eggplant in his rectum, and then he gets shot"? How do you explain it?
Well, he's been with me a long time, so he died inside years ago. He feels nothing anymore, and he just goes, "Yes, dear," whatever you say. No, he loves the show as much as I do. You know what I mean? I think, I've been a stand-up now for 18 years, so, and my show is pretty edgy. It's definitely for grown-ups, so he knows kind of my sense of humor, and I love the show. There are times when both of us are sitting on the couch being like, "Oh my God, did we just do that? Did that really just happen on this show?"
Do you guys record together, or is it solo sessions, or occasionally?
No, we're all separated. None of us are ever in the booth together. And in fact, during the first season, none of us had even met until like late in the year. We only see each other a couple of times a year, and it's always just like a big band of like drunk cats. Whenever we do get together, everybody's like walking in a different direction and bumping into each other. But we love each other, and I think that comes across in the show, even though we don't actually get to record any of our episodes together.
Now, thinking back on the 3 seasons now. By the way, season 2 DVD available on Blu-ray.
Absolutely.
Make sure you get that. And I love the deleted scenes or the extra footage with the dinosaur playing the role of.
Season 2 DVD's got a really great short film that we did about for H. John Benjamin that's really funny, called L'Espion Mal Fait, or the poorly made spy, and it's worth checking out. Very funny.
Absolutely. Now, you mentioned you're a stand-up, which some people don't know. There's actually a video which I watched last night of you on YouTube called "Hire Corporate Celebrity Comedian Aisha Tyler." Can I still hire you?
I got to tell you something. That's an unauthorized video.
Okay.
I think somebody just cut some footage that they scrounged together and put it on there. I'm going to have to get that off.
All right, so I can't hire you. There's also another video which I wanted to make sure I mentioned. Maybe my proudest moment of all the things you've accomplished, where you go head-to-head with Ann Coulter.
Yeah, that's been making the rounds.
Yeah, especially now. But
yeah, absolutely.
She's tough. You held your own, and I was impressed. I just wanted to make sure I mentioned that. And you, by the way, you were right every time.
Oh, well, you're the kindest man alive. And I will say that was a really interesting encounter because, you kind of, someone like that who says such incendiary things, in your head, you think, when I meet this person, I'm going to say this, I'm going to say that, I'm going to give him this, I'm going to give him that. But the other thing you have to remember is that you want to, if you want to stay on top, you got to remain gracious. You know what I mean? You never want to let somebody bait you.
No, what you would have done with her in a comedy club is different than what you do when you're on CNN.
You're exactly right. You're exactly right.
One of the things
a perceptive man.
Oh, I try to be. Speaking of Ann Coulter, I'm going to make a segue into gay marriage. There's a great video of you talking about part of the No Hate campaign, NOH8 campaign, where you talk about gay marriage. And one of your lines in the video is, you're pro-gay marriage, your thing is great. And you say, we straight people are fucking it up.
I did say that.
And that gay people should be allowed to get married. You even point out that your husband is white. And by the way, Lana Kane could be white. We don't know.
Lana Kane is biracial.
She's right.
Half black and half white.
Which makes her even hotter. And her breasts are by large. You mentioned that, your husband is white and you have an interracial marriage. And at one point that wasn't really allowed and frowned upon.
For a lot of the same reasons, that it was unnatural, that it was against what was in the Bible. Right. Yeah, I mean, this is a lot of the same reasons that people give for gay marriage, yeah.
Right, and it's interesting to me that because you broke ground not only in life having a white husband, but you broke ground on Friends. Because you really were the first black person ever allowed on the cast of Friends.
Yeah. I mean, they had characters come in,
peripheral,
black characters come in for an episode, but I was the first character to be on for an extended arc, which was great because, she wasn't written as an African-American character, and none of the storyline ever dealt with her ethnicity. They just wrote this love interest for Joey and Ross, and then they hired me to play her, and that was great. I thought that was what was the most groundbreaking thing about it, was they never made it into a very special episode of Friends. You know what I mean? It was just a great character who was was fun to play, and I mean, that was just a blast.
And I thought you were great, but I was always a Ross and Rachel fan, so...
Oh, I know. Everybody wanted me to get out of the way. So
no, my wife loved you because my wife wanted Joey to end up with Rachel. So you were perfect.
I guess there were a lot of people that were pulling for that. I mean, that whole relationship was so sweet, right? And Joey was so kind of like lovelorn.
Well, that's what my wife says. My wife says Joey was more romantic and sweet, and Ross was an idiot, and why do I like that relationship? Big fight last night when I said I was going to talk to you. She's like, you tell her she should have ended up with Ross because Rachel and Ross is stupid.
Dude, I love how you guys are still holding on to this blood feud all these years later.
Oh, it's ugly. She said, what do you know? You're a guy. You don't know what girls look for. I said, I know, but I'm an idiot like Ross. I'd like to hope that an idiot like me would end up with a Rachel. That's the way the world works.
And there's the essence. There's the essence of the appeal of that relationship.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's get the bullet points out that are very important. Archer on FX Thursday nights at 10 o'clock.
Thursday nights at 10 o'clock. You can see me on the Talk every single day. You got to check your local listings. I don't know what time it airs there, but it's on CBS every day live. And then you can listen to me make my own little radio show, Girl on Guy with Aisha Tyler. And you can find that on iTunes and at girlonguy.net. And it was named Best New Comedy Podcast for 2011 by iTunes.
If you don't say so yourself.
If I don't say so myself, and I do. And I love making it, and it's just me in conversation with people that I think are interesting, athletes, entertainers, musicians. And it's radio where you get to curse, which is why I love doing it.
Well, that's why we're doing a podcast. At least we're taping this so I can beep it.
Yeah.
Real quick before I let you go, and I really don't want to let you go, in your mind, what was the worst thing you ever had to say for Archer? Or the one thing that maybe your head turned or you stuck out in your mind as the most sexual or offensive thing your character has said?
Well, they have yet to scandalize me. Because I'm a stand-up comedian, I'm unscandalizable. But in season 1, when Cyril was in trouble because he had the dead hooker in the trunk of his car,
yep.
And he was on punishment with Lana, I told him he had to go buy interracial porn, and I got to say, you have to go down and get the most barebackinest, ball-slappinest interracial porn in the store. And that was my favorite line, because Adam and I had a big a friendly discussion about whether ball-slappiest or ball-slappinest was a funnier word. And those are the moments that young comedians live for, my friend.
When that's a debate that you have at work, you realize you don't have a regular job.
Yeah, that's when you wake up and you go, oh, Toto, my job is way more awesome than Kansas.
Yeah, you know those people that lift things for a living and fold things? This is better.
Yes, I'm not down the hole with a pickaxe. I feel very lucky.
Yeah, maybe that's the new video for the internet, things comedians say, or comedian problems. Hashtag comedian problems.
Comedian problems, exactly.
Aisha Tyler, it was a pleasure. Thank you for a few minutes, and thank you for doing the show that you do. Archer on FX, Thursdays at 10 p.m. I love it, and I'm so happy I got a chance to talk to you.
Oh, it was my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you, Aisha.
Have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye.